lit your hair, I lit my guard down. I was the wall, you 1989.
Well, hello there, venters. Please make sure you hit the like button on this video. I know you haven't seen it yet, but hit the like button, damn it. Guys, a lot of times people freak out when there's a lot of cameras around and they use facial recognition, because we're always under the idea that this government and other governments around the world are gonna take our faces and really put us into a bad dystopian type future, right? Some people would say we're already there. So in Uvalde, Texas, if you guys remember, about 3 years ago at Robb Elementary, they had that female shooter that went in and she took away the lives of 19 students and 2 teachers. It's kind of hard to believe that that was about 3 years ago. Time flies, right? Anyway, this company called Omnilert came up with this AI system where they actually use the current security cameras in the school. What these security cameras are able to do is they don't look at faces and recognize them. They actually look for weapons.
So how does it work? The Omnilert AI scans existing security cameras for visible firearms, spotting a threat, verifying it within seconds, and triggering an immediate response like a school lockdown.
It's a weapon recognition system. So imagine if a person is going through the hallways with a gun, the cameras automatically recognize the weapon. They verify that it is a weapon. They contact the authorities. Hi guys, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you. The cameras actually contact the authorities, and then they actually send the cops without even people knowing that the gunman's entered the building. Now, this is obviously too little too late when it comes to the 19 students and the 2 teachers that lost their lives, right? But I think this technology seems really exciting to me. Number one, people, like I said, they don't want anything to do with facial recognition. We just don't. But when it comes to gun recognition, heck, I think that's a good idea. As a matter of fact, you could use the schools as a guinea pig, and if it ends up being successful in the schools, you could actually use it in businesses, sporting events, heck, anywhere there's a lot of foot traffic, anywhere in the world. So while this is really in its infancy now, I could actually see this technology saving a lot of lives in the future, and I would like to know what your guys' thoughts are of it.
I believe that any amount of time that you can put between your people and a threat is a game changer. Every minute that you can give people during an emergency situation saves lives.
Omnilert, the company, gave the Uvalde School District a $400,000 grant. And basically they used the Uvalde School District as their learning ground, so to speak. And basically all the cameras now have Omnilert on them throughout the district. So although you can't go back in time and save those kids' lives might be saving future kids in the Uvalde district. The problem with the Uvalde situation, if you guys remember, was that cops were alerted in plenty of time. But for whatever reason, they all stayed outside of the building, and instead of going in and arresting the bad guys, it looked like they were more interested in arresting parents who wanted to go in and stop the bad guy. That must have been the most frustrating thing, to know that cops could have went in so much sooner than they did. Being a cop is such a tough job, because you know as well as I do, they probably pray each and every day that they never have to use their weapon and that they're protected, by our Heavenly Father up above, right? But you know as well as I do, not every man and woman is brave. And if you're gonna be in law enforcement, man, you need to be brave like all hell. You've got to be willing to go in there and put your body on the line. And yes, I know just being a cop means that you're putting your life on the line, but there's a difference between being a passive cop and then going in and doing your job. And I just felt that when it comes to Robb Elementary and the Uvalde School District, I felt like a lot of people feel this way too, that I feel like the cops kind of let us down in that scenario. Usually everybody loves the cops. We all support the men in blue. But when it came to that tragic day, there was a lot of people twiddling their thumbs instead of doing what needed to be done. I'm not saying I could have done any better, because I don't necessarily have that bravery. But my goodness, you got to be able to do your job. Tough job in the world, though, no doubt about it. You know, the district wanted to stress.
It's not facial recognition, and no personal data is stored. It's focused solely on preventing gun violence.
But I think if there's any building in the whole world that people would be okay with facial recognition cameras, I'm thinking it would be a school, you know? Again, I think the movies have led us to believe that there's some dark entity out there that just wants to steal everybody's identity and ruin everybody's life and get them thrown in prison for something they didn't do. That's why all of us are afraid of facial recognition, right? Because of the book of Revelation, we always feel like we're going to have the mark of the beast on us. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but every single one of us here in this country has a social security card. We're already marked. Every one of these vaccines they give us, for all we know, there could be something in there that marks our blood. Do we actually let biblical prophecy kind of hold us back from moving forward? I think this might be one of those situations where we do. We've all been afraid of, this mark of the beast. You know what I think the 666 was? Nero. Texas Nomad 333 says, what good is it if the cops won't even go in? Here's the cool thing, Texas Nomad, you're not looking at it three-dimensionally. If the cops won't go in, we already know they're gonna have robot dogs that will. Could you imagine if you're a gunman and you're thinking, okay, I'm gonna stand my ground and I'm gonna shoot back at the cops? Well, what if there is no cop? It's some robotic dog ready to just come at you, and as soon as you're in its camera sights, bullets are gonna come flying at you. That's what the future's gonna be. These robot dogs are gonna be the first responders to go in and save kids' lives in the future. I don't know if you guys remember, I think it was the same school, but it might have been another school, but you remember those teacher name bags or name badges? The teacher badges in some schools around the country have buttons that you can push in an emergency. You push one button and it sends the fire department. You push the other button and it sends the police department. I think if you have that coupled with AI and maybe a couple of these robot dogs on each campus, my God, you could snuff out school shooters just like that. I think if they actually start locking the campuses down, I think that could also prevent stuff as well. I would love to know your guys' ideas. A lot of times, the best ideas are the ones that no one said or shared yet. If you have a good idea and you're not afraid to share it, please do. Sometimes you'll get people with world-class ideas and they're like, well, I haven't gotten a patent yet. This is not patent pending, so I don't want to share it. If you're not afraid of losing your patent, please tell us your great idea. The Buckeye Picker says, that's a great idea, but now the police department needs to deploy a scaredy cat officer detection. They might be able to deploy that now. Why don't you just ask police while they're totally calm, have them go through a lie detector test. If there's a guy in there shooting and people are dying, are you willing to go in or not? It seems to me like if you can't pass a lie detector on that, maybe you shouldn't get the badge. I know it sounds shitty. 99% of what you do as a cop probably doesn't involve your firearm, and nobody really wants to walk into their peril. But at the same time, if there's any job in the country that kind of requires that of the people that do the job, it's being an officer of the law. You gotta do shit that nobody else wants to do.
Friends, you've arrived at the right place. This is Jesse, and he'll be our guide for today. Welcome to Walk Talk Vent.
By the way, I kind of forget about this story because it was so long ago, but that's what I love talking to my venters about, right? We can all remember it together and collectively. Wasn't it a situation where cops actually did want to go in, but wasn't there one or two people that kind of took control that ended up, doing a lackluster or poor job? I could have swore that there was like one guy that would not let people go in to do what they had to do. I thought that shit was funny the other day. Excuse me, I don't mean to interrupt you, but be careful, a coyote got one of my cats. That shit was hilarious. What are the odds, guys, that the cat lady would make a guest voice appearance on Walk Talk Vent? That is just amazing. I'll tell you what else is amazing. I think you venters that watch me every day, the AZ Raccoons, Terry the Terrify, Mala, Sean, Carla, Micah. It's kind of amazing that you guys walk with me every day because for whatever reason, we don't seem to grow very fast on this channel. I know I used to talk about the walk and the exercise portion a lot more, and now I talk mainly about stories that are going on around the country. But I want you guys to know, having a YouTube channel is not easy, and you guys just being there makes it worth it. So to all of you guys that are always there, my daily venters, I appreciate you very much. At Sayla Sobriquet says, this won't help anything at Uvalde. The response time to the school was not the problem. It was having LE officers who were brave enough to go in and actually stop the shooter rather than cowering outside and arresting parents who had the courage to go in and get their kids. Sometimes you have that in real life. You have a situation where a guy can go after the troublemaker, or he can go after the innocent person. And sometimes you have cops that it seems like they do kind of go after the innocent person. It kind of reminds me of pro wrestling. Ladies, even if you're not a wrestling fan, I'm sure you remember this. There'll be a tag team match, right? 2 people on 2 people. And one of the people is just doing some illegal move to their opponent, and their teammate is distracting the referee. That's what it reminds me of. The referee knows that they need to turn their back and look at the guy that's doing an illegal move on their opponent, but instead they're distracted by their tag team partner that's, keeping them from looking at what they should be looking at. That's how the cops acted when it came to Uvalde. Instead of working on the problem, they made the parents the problem. And I think that's what irritates people about school districts now, and even about leadership now. Why does leadership look the other way so easily when it's the criminals and the bad guys and the ne'er-do-wells, but then when it's the family and the parents, those people get shitted on the most? You know who owns homes? Families and parents own homes. Every single year, you know what these cities and states do? They raise your homeowner taxes so that when you're elderly and you're starting to run out of funds, you get rewarded with property taxes that keep going up to the point where you can't afford your home. It just seems like the system is against the good people, and it works to keep the bad people around. It's really, really crooked, and it just kind of makes you sick. I think I'm going to bring back the reaction channel to the walk. There's so many ideas that I have that are percolating in my head, and I can't wait for another month or two when the weather starts cooling down. We're going to take this channel to another level. Sometimes it might look like I'm just plateauing into nothingness, but that's not how my brain works, ladies and gentlemen. When I'm on my walk, my brain is constantly percolating at its highest levels, and I'm constantly thinking, how can I make this channel better? Is it where it needs to be? No, obviously not. Some way, somehow, the algorithm has me swimming around 100 views per show, which is really sad. But I'm not gonna let that get me down, because we're venters. We're gonna find a way. We're gonna use our walk. So that's gonna be the next game plan that I have for the rest of this year. You guys are gonna see what a walk can do to a guy like Jesse. I'm gonna use my walk to come up with new fun ideas to take Walk Talk Vent to new heights. And we're gonna dominate the YouTube world. If you're with me, hit the thumbs up button. The walk must go on. I'm asking all venters to put TWMGO in the comment section if you're with me. We're gonna walk so much that by the time Christmas rolls around, we're gonna all be in that shape that we yearn to be in. By the way, I'm doing 20 push-ups 2 or 3 times a day, and I don't care how old my body is, it's gonna start getting muscular. I can feel it. Whew. In case I haven't said it in a while, this is a walking channel. We walk every single day, we drink water every single day, and we avoid sugar because we're a team. And we know that if we keep walking, we're gonna live a long time. So let's do this. If you're brand new to the show, by golly, hit subscribe, hit the like button, put your shoes on, and take a daily walk with us and change your life. Those other channels, they might be fun, they might be addictive and entertaining, but this channel, on top of those other qualities, is gonna help you get healthier, damn it. Or we're gonna die trying. We're gonna die trying to get you to live. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you leave me a comment or two. If you guys don't hit the like button or comment or two, I'm gonna be walking with the 20 of you guys forever. I'd like to walk with the rest of America too. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you tomorrow.